Welcome back to Scripps News. Right now, the entire world watching Vatican City. A new pope has been selected, and we will find out who it is anytime now. But first, Scripps News Global Affairs correspondent Maya Rodriguez is live in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. And Maya, what is the reaction there?
You know, Holly, we are at the National Basilica here in Washington, which is the largest Catholic church in the United States. It's also home to the Catholic University of America, so there is a very strong sense of Catholic faith running through this whole area. And because the university is here, we thought, well, what better thing to do than to talk to some of the students here from the Catholic University. We are joined by Maura Ahern, Mary Kate Brew, and Christina Stewart. Thank you, ladies, so much for taking the time to chat with us on what really is sort of a momentous day. So I want to start with you, Maura. What are you hoping to see as we wait to see who this new pope is? What do you hope to see in the new pope?
I really hope to see him lead us to a stronger place of connection within the faith and just everybody as a community, because I feel like that could be a lot easier for us to grow as a community and just keep us together.
You know, Mary Kate, obviously a lot of people might be comparing the new pope to the old pope, Pope Francis. What are you hoping to see in the new pope?
Just like Pope Francis, I'm also hoping to see someone that's really progressive. Pope Francis he took a lot of strides, and I'm hoping that the new pope will also do that. I think that's really important for the Catholic faith, and like Maura said, with the unity of the Catholic Church.
And Christina, obviously you all are young people, you're also women. What are you hoping to see the pope, the new pope, address when it comes to the role of women and young people in the Catholic Church?
Yeah, I think Pope Francis did a great job of kind of trailblazing this start of progression, and I hope to see that, this new pope really takes into consideration all people, and even though he's the head of the Catholic Church, I think it's important to unify all people, and the church, faith is to love everyone. So I think if that's emphasized, then I think more young people and more women will get involved, and I hope to just see us go forward.
You know, Maura, I do want to talk about the fact that this is finals week. You guys have a lot going on already, but what has the energy been like on campus during this whole process with the conclave going on?
It's really amazing, honestly, to see everybody. We were just sitting outside, kind of just eating lunch, and we found out there was a new pope, and everybody was just so excited and talking about it, and it's just great energy everywhere.
Yeah, we heard the bells ringing out earlier when the white smoke came out. What has it been like here on campus?
Like Maura said, it's been a lot of high energy. Like you said before, the Catholic Church is really important here at Catholic University of America. So, we're all sitting outside eating Chick-fil-A. I just finished the Spanish exam, and you hear a girl go, "Oh my God, there's a new pope!" And then, everyone starts yelling, and then the bells start ringing beautifully, and it was really cool to see that. And it's cool that we're here for that. So.
Christina, how important is your faith to you, and what does this moment mean for you as someone who is Catholic?
Yeah, growing up, I grew up Catholic, and then honestly coming here, I was definitely not as involved with my faith, but I think coming to this school, I've seen that there's a different view on faith, because I think growing up it was there's just a lot of rules and things you have to do, but I think coming here, I've seen a new aspect of it, and the more the community aspect of it. So it's honestly been great, and being able to integrate it into my everyday life has also been an amazing aspect of coming to this school.
All right, well, Maura, Mary Kate, Christina, we're going to let you get back to your final exams. I know you have a lot going on in addition to this major global event that we've been covering, but I do want to talk a little bit about something that happened earlier. Before the white smoke rose from the Sistine Chapel, they were planning to have a mass here. It was scheduled for 12:10 p.m. in what's known as the Crypt Church. It's a church that's sort of located underneath the Basilica itself here at the National Basilica. And what happened was, basically, the Mass was just about to start, and they were going to pray for the cardinals and the conclave that they come to a wise decision when it comes to the selection of the next pope. And then all of a sudden, we saw the white smoke. So I don't know if it was the prayers that were being sent towards the cardinals in Rome or what might have led to that, but the timing was certainly very serendipitous, Holly.
I love that, and I'm sure it was partly those prayers. Scripps News Global Affairs correspondent Maya Rodriguez live for us. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing us those beautiful young voices. All right, as a new pope has been chosen in Rome just a short time ago, we saw that white smoke billow out of the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new leader, that the cardinals have decided who will take the Roman Catholic Church into the future. Scripps News' Joe St. George live for us in Rome, covering every detail and development. Joining us now. And Joe, just listening to Maya talking to all those young, energetic voices, what did you get from that? Because I know the Catholic Church has some decisions to make and where it moves in the future. Does it become more traditional as it was in the past? Does it follow the path of Pope Francis, he was a bit of a liberal pope? What did you make from hearing from those young voices?
Well, first and foremost, those were young female Catholics, and the role of women in the church is one of the big issues that will confront whoever is the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. There are some who believe that Pope Francis put the church on a path, maybe one day, for there to be women deacons, for instance, in the church, to play a real role. There's a group of Catholics in the church that say, look, we're having trouble recruiting priests, we're having trouble keeping parishes open. Perhaps it's time to expand the doors, if you will. But then you have another faction of the Catholic Church, and dare I say a very powerful and influential and vocal faction, that believes that Pope Francis set the church on the wrong path, and there needs to be a bit of a pendulum swing. That's the phrase that I've heard here in Rome this week, Holly. Perhaps more back in the direction of a more conservative path. We're going to find out again momentarily. We're beginning to enter that window. We told you somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour after the white smoke appears that we will see the protodeacon emerge and declare Habemus Papam from the balcony of St. Peter's Square. The crowds are continuing to fill in. Golden hour is approaching here in Rome, and we are approaching the moment in which the new pope will be revealed to the world.
And Joe, once we see the new pope, what happens then? Will there be any kind of a mass coming up in the next couple of days? What can we expect?
Yeah, we can expect a novena. We can expect an inauguration mass. The new pope will be the supreme pontiff and can dictate the schedule going forward. We'll continue our live coverage from Rome after this.
new pope has been chosen in Rome. Just a short time ago, white smoke billowed out of the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Many have come to St. Peter's Square to see who will emerge from the balcony. Vatican News covers all things of the conclave, so let's listen in.
Marta. Of course, they are their own little tables, and sometimes we'll just provoke them. They had shown secrecy, of course, confidentiality, but it was so wonderful, and the dedication of them going to the congregations, the meetings, and even the non-electors, some of them live there permanently in our house. And we have some of the staff who have been helping. They had to also do the swearing in, so that they would be. Some of them couldn't go because they're small children and they wanted to stay next to their children. So it has been a great experience, even from that point of view.
Well, and also, since you're from Zambia, how do you think people in Africa, the African continent, are taking this moment? I mean, we have viewers, listeners from all around the world, but your experience in watching the conclave and being prepared for this Abemos Papa moment, like, what do you think is the atmosphere, the environment of people watching in Africa?
It's a great moment. I can tell you already I've received about 5 or 6 calls just within the space of 10 minutes as I was coming in.
Wow.
From some of my colleagues who are in the media. And I think the most, the call that I really enjoyed was my uncle is 82, and usually we talk to him through my aunt because there's a problem of hearing. But he's so excited, so everybody's following. They're following on various channels there, the national television stations, on radio, and so forth. It's a great moment, and knowing Africa, they've always been fascinated by the popes. I remember even from a time when I was a young boy myself in catechism, we taught the anthem, the papal anthem.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was very familiar for you to hear.
Not this one, but there's an old one that was.
As the world waits and watches to see who will emerge from that balcony as the new pope, the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church, a historic moment. We wait and watch alongside. We have to take a quick break, but we'll get you right back live to those pictures in Rome.
Well, breaking news, a new pope has been chosen in Rome. It was just a short time ago that white smoke billowed out of the chimney at the Sistine Chapel, signaling a new leader for the Catholic Church. I'm Scripps News' Anna Rafferty, and this is On the Scene. You are looking live at Vatican City as we await to find the identity of the new Pope. Joe St. George continues with us here. And Joe, let's level with folks. Whoever we see publicly here stepping out in just a few moments, we're not going to know a whole lot about them personally, but there's a whole lot we can tell by where they're from, what sort of Catholic order they come from, what name they choose. What are some of the big things that you'll be looking for when we find out the identity of the next leader of the church?
Some of the big storylines ahead of this announcement, and we think we're only just moments away now from Habemus Papam being declared from the balcony at St. Peter's. One of the big headlines is, does Southeast Asia get their first pope? Cardinal Luis Tagle, going into this conclave, Andrew, was considered a leading contender. And given the fact that this wasn't a very long conclave, we're going to have to wait for official word from the Vatican, but it would appear to be that the voting occurred, the winning round, if you will, was the fourth ballot. Given the fact that it happened relatively quickly by conclave standards, one of the contenders, I suspect, may have been elected. The magic number, if you will, 89 cardinals needed to agree on the one man to be the 267th leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Besides Southeast Asia, the other theme that's being talked about is Africa, where the church is growing. It's booming in places like the Congo. Does it get essentially rewarded for that booming church populations, many men entering the seminary there, with a leader of the Roman Catholic Church, a number of cardinals. Sarah, for instance, was mentioned, but he's 79 years of age. Age will be a storyline here emerging after whoever emerges from the balcony of St. Peter's. Again, these crowds are remarkable. If you're wondering, well, these crowds, they look slightly different than in 2013 or in 2005. Security posture has changed dramatically since then. There's been checkpoints set up. You just can't storm St. Peter's Square and go wherever you want. There is an attempt, at least at population control. There's always been a real concern about security threats that face the Roman Catholic Church. So that is no doubt part of the protocol by the Swiss Guard, by the Vatican police that have assembled here. Andrew, I'm struck by one man. Life is about to change forever. Someone relatively, let's face it, right? I mean, it's not like cardinals from Africa or Philippines or from Hungary are top of mind for American Catholics. Most American Catholics can't name any cardinals. One man's life is about to go from obscurity to being one of the most famous and influential people on planet Earth. And Andrew, you know this. It's not just Catholics who care about this. Non-Catholics do as well. President Donald Trump attended the funeral of Pope Francis. He doesn't just attend the funeral of anyone. Prince William, the future King of England, attended the funeral of Pope Francis. He doesn't just go to the funeral of anyone. The Pope is one of the most influential heads of state anywhere on planet Earth, Andrew.
Yeah, and Joe, for as high profile of a moment as this is, for as life-changing of a moment as we are about to see from whoever it is emerges from behind those doors and reveals themselves to the world, they also will have a whole lot of responsibility and challenges that lie ahead for however long they remain the leader of the Catholic Church. This is a church that not only continues to struggle over the sex abuse scandal, but also needs an identity. As we've seen Pope Francis take it one way, a more accepting Catholic Church, reaching out to groups that maybe traditionally or previously had felt a bit marginalized by religion as a whole. Nonetheless, the Catholic Church, this next leader is going to have a pivotal moment as to decide whether or not to sort of continue down that path, maybe recalibrate a bit back to a more traditional, more conservative Catholic Church that is, let's face it, declining overall. Religion in not only the U.S., but overall in the world, we have seen a decline as people sort of turn away from institutions. So this is a leader that no doubt has their plate full.
No question about it. In the United States, parishes are closing. Priests are being confronted with having to run 2, 3 parishes at a time. Catholic schools have faced enrollment issues in many parts of the United States. Europe has faced declining populations as well. There's financial questions. They have a pension problem at the Vatican with its staff. There will be financial questions the new Pope face. There's international issues, such as dealing with China. China and the Church have had a bit of a long-standing feud. China's wanted to exercise some control over, as you see, one of the cardinals that have gathered here to see this moment up close. The Chinese government have wanted to exercise control over the Catholic Church and have a say in appointing bishops in China. The Holy See is one of 12 governments on planet Earth that recognize Taiwan. That irks leaders in Beijing. These are just some of the many issues. LGBTQ plus Catholics, how to bless Catholics. What's the proper protocol for blessing LGBTQ plus Catholics? Pope Francis made waves when he said, "Who am I to judge?" so many years ago. We see Cardinal Donald Wuerl there. He is a cardinal over the age of 80, an American cardinal, past Archbishop of Washington, D.C., past Archbishop of Pittsburgh, for instance. So he has gathered right there to get a front row seat to history, the 267th leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Now, the first person that you see will not be the Pope. So I want to caution everyone here. It's going to be a French cardinal, Dominique Memberti. He is the senior cardinal deacon in the College of Cardinals, was appointed proto-deacon, and he has the distinct honor of saying the phrase, Habemus Papam, we have a pope. As White Smoke indicated almost an hour ago now, the College of Cardinals, the 133 college electors, they were able to come to some consensus on day 2 after the lunch hour. They were able to come up with 89 votes and the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church. The celebration continues in Rome. Our coverage continues after this on Scripps News.
You're watching Scripps News, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back to Scripps News. It was just moments ago that white smoke billowed out of the chimney at the Vatican, and you are looking at live pictures as the world awaits to find out who the next leader of the Catholic Church is. Joe St. George is live with us. He is in Rome and has been there during this whole conclave process, beginning, middle, and now as we end, find out the ultimate new pontiff. Joe, you had a chance to talk to a lot of the people that had come to Rome, who came to the Vatican for this. Is this something that people, once they heard of Pope Francis passing, bought plane tickets and descended upon Rome? We're seeing flags from around the world here. Is this something that people kind of just jumped on a plane because they wanted to be there to witness history? Or are these people who mostly were already in Rome or visitors and wanted to kind of go down to the Vatican and see where the new leader of the church ultimately is unveiled?
A little bit of both. You have some tourists that are just lucky that happen to have scheduled a vacation to Italy in early May. You also have some who came for this moment. In fact, there were a number of high-profile dinners involving several prominent Catholics taking place in Rome in the lead-up to the conclave, with some of the American cardinals participating. Again, as we wait, we believe we are in the window where we will see the new pope quickly and soon emerge from that window at St. Peter's Basilica. A moment that the Catholic Church doesn't quite have too often. The last time we saw this was 2013. To give you some perspective as to what the new Holy Father, the new leader of the Catholic Church, has undergone in the last hour. It's been just over an hour and 4 minutes since we first saw the white smoke. The first question the new Holy Father was asked was, "Do you accept the outcome of this election?" Yes. The new Holy Father was asked to give the name that he wants to be called in honor of a saint or a past pope. Then the new leader of the Catholic Church was moved to a room known as the Room of Tears. It's where we have some movement. We have some movement. The curtains are opening. Here we go. I think we should be preparing to listen in, guys. This is the moment in which the new pope will be announced to the world.
Here we are.
The Cardinal Proto-Deacon.
And
he's smiling.
He's smiling. He will give us the announcement. Here we are.
Suspense.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus papam. Eminentissimum, ac reverendissimum Dominum, Dominum Robertum Franciscum, Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Prevost, qui sibi nomen imposuit Leonem XIV.
So, it's Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who's taken the name of Leo XIV, Pope Leo XIV. Cardinal Prevost is an American, and he spent most of his ministry in Latin America, in Peru, and also in Paraguay. And he's an Augustinian father. He was the provincial in Latin America, and then became the Bishop of Chiclayo in Peru. And he then is also, he became the Superior General of the Augustinian Fathers as well. He's now he's been the prefect of the dicastery for bishops.
We see the cardinal electors there appearing on the balcony there as well. with this joy and smiles on their face.
A great joy indeed, and well, it wasn't one of those, I can't believe it, so to say. What a great joy.
It's a wonderful joy. And he's from Chicago,
Yes.
Illinois. Okay.
An American.
An American.
An American. I think that's a historic moment.
It is truly, truly historic.
And you can see all the cardinals on the different balconies there. For our radio listeners, you may not be able to see this, of course, but they're appearing on all the balconies to the left and right of the central balcony. All of them clearly standing out with their red vestments and smiles, and
waiting to again for all of us to greet this new pope as well.
The new pope.
Which now we know his name.
Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, Augustinian, and has served as prefect of the dicastery for bishops. A native of Chicago, Illinois, in the United States.
Wow. And so as we said before, you saw all the flags and everything out in the square, and now all the Americans are holding their flags.
Indeed.
History has been made at the Vatican. The first American Pope, Robert Francis Prevost, born in Chicago, elected to lead the Roman Catholic Church. They said, no, never could an American become Pope. But this conclave that has gathered in 2025 said, this is the one, this is the man, the 266th successor of St. Peter, the 267th leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Robert Prevost, yes, he is an American, but his experience is global. Served as a missionary in South America, has worked to select the new bishops all around the globe, a close confidant of Francis, someone who is familiar with Rome, someone who, yes, is an American, but is very familiar with the inner workings of the Vatican, having been at the Vatican for so many years. 69 years of age, Robert Prevost. He is a youngish pope. That's the average age or so about the College of Cardinals. He's someone who could lead the Catholic Church into what will be a historic direction. As you see the cardinals that have gathered here, some of them thought, could they be the ones? But on what we think was the fourth ballot, Robert Prevost, the man from Chicago, selected to lead the Roman Catholic Church. And pretty soon, in short order now, the new leader of the Roman Catholic Church will bless the faithful that have gathered here. And I can only imagine the feelings that some people had. There was talk of the first African pope in more than 1,500 years, talk of perhaps the first Southeast Asian pope, talk of the first Italian popes, maybe since 1978. But no, it is an American that has been elected to lead the Roman Catholic Church. Andrew, we witness history so often together. We're witnessing history once again.
And Joe, I think back to your wise words yesterday when we were awaiting that first smoke signal, that so many had cautioned you that if you think you are going in as a pope, you will come out a cardinal. And it seems like, and this is somebody who, again, no one is an expert on this. We can just go off of some of the betting markets, the speculation, but this is not a name that I saw anywhere close to the top of the list. And there was so much talk about how dismissive it was, the idea that there could be a pope from America. There's so much more to digest here about why these cardinals ultimately made the decision, why they feel they were guided by the Holy Spirit to make the decision. But putting on, my American journalist lens here, I'm just thinking immediately about the role that this new pope will play in American politics and international politics. Because yes, the Pope's voice is always elevated and important, but the fact that we have an American Pope here in this country will only make it rise even more.
And I have to wonder the reception that he's about to receive. Yes, Catholics will unite behind whoever is the new Holy Father, but again, the view by so many was that The U.S. is already so powerful, and now America has a Donald Trump and a Pope Leo the 14th. Correct. I mean, this is remarkable, and we should note that Robert Prevost is. You can quickly start deleting that from your memory. He will forever be remembered as Pope Leo the 14th. But quite frankly, the most remarkable thing about his papacy, the first line, it's already been written. The first person from the United States, born in Chicago, to be elevated to lead the Roman Catholic Church. 60 million plus Catholics in the United States, 1.4 billion Catholics globally. And Andrew, just before this announcement, you and I were talking about how the church in the U.S. struggling with parishes, struggling to keep schools open, struggling to recruit priests. My, oh my, what a